We've all sat around campfires, faces lit by flickering flames, listening to stories. But have you ever wondered where those stories come from? Why do we tell them? Long before the invention of writing, before books or even cave paintings, humans were telling stories. These weren't just idle tales. They were our first attempts to make sense of a world we barely understood. Imagine early humans huddled around a fire, looking up at the vast, star-strewn sky. They saw patterns in the stars, shapes that moved in predictable ways. They felt the changing seasons, the cycle of life and death, and they craved explanations. Out of that need, out of the darkness, stories were born. These early narratives, passed down through generations by word of mouth, became our first myths. Imagine a world without writing. How would you pass down knowledge, history, or beliefs? For ancient cultures, the answer was simple: through stories. These stories, told and retold around campfires and beneath the open sky, weren't just entertainment. They were survival guides, history books, and moral compasses all rolled into one. Myths were born from a deep-seated need to understand the world. Why does the sun rise and set? Why are there seasons? What happens after we die? The answers, often woven into tales of gods and monsters, provided a framework for understanding the natural world. These stories weren't static. They evolved with each telling, molded by the storyteller's voice and the audience's reaction. This ensured that myths remained dynamic, reflecting the changing beliefs and experiences of the people. Imagine the power of the spoken word in a world without books. The storyteller held a place of immense importance. They were the keepers of history, the teachers of morals, and the entertainers who brought joy and wonder. Myths weren't just stories. They were powerful tools. They could unite a community, providing a shared identity and purpose. They could explain the unexplainable, offering comfort in the face of the unknown. And they could transmit knowledge, ensuring that essential skills like hunting, farming, and social customs were passed down through generations. In this way, myths helped shape and define early human societies. The invention of writing, a pivotal moment in human history, transformed how we told and preserved stories. No longer solely reliant on memory and oral tradition, humans could now capture their myths and legends in a more permanent form. Picture the first scribes carefully etching symbols onto clay tablets or papyrus scrolls. With each mark, they were not just recording words, they were capturing the essence of their culture, their beliefs, their very understanding of the universe. This transition from oral to written tradition wasn't a sudden shift. For centuries, the two forms coexisted, each enriching and influencing the other. But the advent of writing marked a profound change, ushering in a new era of storytelling. Section 5. The scribes remember, preserving myths in stone and script. With the advent of writing, myths took on a new life. No longer at the mercy of fading memories or the storyteller's whims, they were etched into stone, inscribed on scrolls, and preserved for generations to come. The stories, once fluid and ever-changing, began to take on a more fixed form. This allowed for greater consistency and accuracy in their transmission, ensuring that the core narratives remained intact. But the shift to written narratives also brought about a change in the relationship between storyteller and audience. The intimacy of the spoken word was replaced by the permanence of the written text, creating a distance between the myth and its reader. Myths are more than just stories, they are echoes of the past, whispering secrets of ancient cultures long gone. Embedded within their narratives are clues to the beliefs, values, and social structures of the societies that created them. By studying these tales, we gain insights into how our ancestors lived, what they held sacred, and what they feared. We learn about their rituals, their relationships with nature, and their understanding of the cosmos. Myths offer a window into the past, providing a glimpse into the minds and hearts of those who came before us. They remind us that, despite the vast differences in time and culture, we share a common thread of humanity with our ancestors. Before written laws or codified moral codes, societies relied on myths to teach right from wrong. These stories, often featuring gods and heroes as protagonists, served as moral compasses, guiding people towards virtuous behavior. The consequences of good and bad actions were often dramatized in dramatic fashion within these narratives. Heroes who displayed courage, honesty, and wisdom were rewarded, while villains who succumbed to greed, deceit, and treachery faced divine retribution. These stories served as cautionary tales, reminding listeners of the importance of living a just and honorable life. They instilled moral values, reinforced societal norms, and helped maintain order within ancient communities. In an age of reason and scientific advancement, why do we still find ourselves drawn to the ancient power of myths? Perhaps it's because these stories, though born in a world vastly different from our own, still speak to something fundamental within the human experience. Myths explore universal themes that transcend time and culture: love, loss, betrayal, redemption, the struggle between good and evil. They tap into our deepest fears and aspirations, reminding us that we are part of a grand, interconnected web of existence. Even today, myths continue to inspire artists, writers, and filmmakers, their timeless themes reimagined for modern audiences. They remind us that the human heart, with its capacity for both great love and unspeakable darkness, has changed little throughout history. Myths, once confined to the realm of oral tradition and ancient texts, have found new life in our modern world. They are woven into our books, movies, and video games, their timeless themes reinterpreted for contemporary audiences. From superhero comics to fantasy novels, from blockbuster films to video game narratives, the influence of ancient myths is pervasive. We see echoes of Odysseus in the journeys of modern-day heroes, and the battles between gods and monsters find new life in the conflicts of our favorite fantasy worlds. The enduring power of myths lies in their ability to adapt and evolve, to find resonance in each new generation. They remind us that the stories we tell ourselves about who we are, where we come from, and what it means to be human are timeless and universal.
Myths and legends. These words conjure up images of ancient gods and mythical creatures. They speak of epic battles and timeless tales. But they're far more than mere stories. Myths and legends are threads woven into the very fabric of human history. They are windows into the souls of our ancestors. From the earliest civilizations to the present day, myths have played a vital role in shaping our understanding of the world. They offer explanations for natural phenomena, provide moral guidance, and explore the complexities of the human condition. They reflect our hopes, our fears, and our deepest beliefs. Imagine a world without stories, a world devoid of the myths and legends that have been passed down through generations. It would be a world stripped of its magic and wonder, a world disconnected from its past. Myths and legends are not just relics of bygone eras. They continue to resonate with us today because they speak to universal truths about life, death, love, loss, and the search for meaning. They are timeless tales for all time. Our journey begins in ancient Mesopotamia, the cradle of civilization. The Mesopotamians were pioneers in many fields, including writing, mathematics, and astronomy. Their myths and legends, preserved on clay tablets, offer a glimpse into the beliefs and values of this remarkable culture. At the heart of Mesopotamian mythology is the Epic of Gilgamesh, one of the oldest surviving works of literature. This epic poem tells the story of Gilgamesh, a king who embarks on a quest for immortality after the death of his friend Enkidu. Along his journey, he encounters gods, monsters, and a wise man named Utnapishtim, who survived a great flood. The story of Gilgamesh explores themes of mortality, friendship, and the meaning of life. It reflects the Mesopotamians' deep-seated belief in fate and the power of the gods. Other myths from this region, such as the Enuma Elish, a creation myth, delve into the origins of the universe and the nature of good and evil. These ancient tales, passed down through generations, provided a framework for understanding the world and one's place within it. They offered explanations for the mysteries of life and death, and helped to shape the moral and spiritual beliefs of the Mesopotamian people. We journey now to the land of the pharaohs, ancient Egypt, a civilization obsessed with death and the afterlife. Egyptian mythology is a rich tapestry of gods, goddesses, and fantastical creatures. At its core lies a profound belief in the cyclical nature of life, death, and rebirth. The Egyptians believed that death was not the end but a transition to another realm, the afterlife. This belief is evident in their elaborate burial rituals and the construction of monumental tombs, such as the pyramids. The story of Osiris, Isis, and Horus, one of the most important myths in Egyptian mythology, illustrates this belief. Osiris, the god of the underworld, is murdered by his jealous brother Set. His wife, Isis, gathers his dismembered body and, with the help of the god Anubis, resurrects him. Osiris then becomes the ruler of the underworld, while their son Horus avenges his father and becomes the king of the living. This myth reflects the Egyptians' belief in the possibility of resurrection and the triumph of good over evil. It also highlights the importance of family, loyalty, and the continuity of life after death. Next, we sail to the shores of ancient Greece, a land where gods and mortals mingled, and myths were woven into the very fabric of everyday life. Greek mythology is perhaps the most famous and influential of all ancient mythologies. It is a world populated by a cast of unforgettable characters. From the mighty Zeus, king of the gods, to the wise Athena, goddess of wisdom, and the beautiful Aphrodite, goddess of love, the Greek pantheon is a reflection of human nature, with all its virtues and flaws. These gods and goddesses interacted with mortals, influencing their lives for better or for worse. Greek myths are full of epic tales and moral dilemmas. The story of Prometheus, a titan who stole fire from the gods and gave it to humanity, explores themes of sacrifice, rebellion, and the consequences of defying the divine. The Trojan War, sparked by the abduction of Helen, the most beautiful woman in the world, highlights the destructive power of love, desire, and vengeance. These stories, told and retold through poetry, drama, and song, served as both entertainment and moral instruction. They provided a framework for understanding the complexities of life, the human condition, and the relationship between mortals and the divine. In the annals of history, the influence of ancient Greece reverberates through the ages. Their philosophy, their art, and their governance laid the groundwork for civilizations to come. As Rome began to rise, it absorbed and adapted these Greek ideals, blending them with its own innovations. This fusion created a powerful empire that would shape the world for centuries. From the democratic principles of Athens to the engineering marvels of Rome, the echoes of Greece were instrumental in the rise of a new era. In the ancient world, tales of gods and monsters were more than just stories. They were reflections of the human quest for glory and understanding. Heroes embarked on epic journeys facing unimaginable challenges, all in the name of honor and valor. These myths provided a framework for interpreting the mysteries of life and the cosmos. Myths and legends have always been a mirror to society's values and fears. They reveal what a culture holds dear and what it dreads the most. Through these stories, ancient civilizations express their beliefs, their moral codes, and their anxieties about the unknown. It's fascinating to see how these narratives evolve yet still resonate with us today. The themes found in ancient myths are timeless: love, betrayal, heroism, and sacrifice. These are universal experiences that continue to captivate us. Over the centuries, these stories have been adapted and retold, each time gaining new layers of meaning. They remind us that despite the passage of time, the human condition remains remarkably consistent. And so, the tales of the past continue to echo through the ages. They connect us to our ancestors and offer insights into the human spirit. These timeless stories, rich with wisdom and adventure, will forever be a part of our cultural heritage. They are indeed tales for all time.
Myths and legends are fascinating stories from long ago. They tell of heroes, gods, and monsters. They explain natural events and cultural beliefs. But how much of these stories are true? The line between fact and fiction can be blurry. Sometimes real events inspire these tales. Over time, people add details and exaggerations. This makes separating fact from fiction challenging, but by looking closely, we can find clues to the past. We can learn about ancient people, their lives and their beliefs. Legends are stories about people who may have actually lived. These people were often seen as heroes. They were known for their bravery, strength, or wisdom. Over time, their stories were passed down through generations. As the stories were told and retold, details changed. Events might have become more dramatic. The hero's accomplishments might have grown larger than life. The story of Romulus and Remus is a famous legend. It tells of twin brothers who were abandoned as babies. A she-wolf found them and cared for them. Later, they founded the city of Rome. Did this really happen? Probably not exactly as the story goes, but the legend tells us something about the Romans. They valued courage and strength. They believed in their destiny to build a powerful city. Myths are different from legends. They are often fictional stories. They feature gods and goddesses. Myths try to explain things people didn't understand. Why does the sun rise and set? What causes storms? Myths provided answers. They gave people a way to make sense of the natural world. Myths also taught lessons about life, death, and morality. Myths played a vital role in shaping cultural identity. They gave people a shared history and a sense of belonging. Myths explained the origin of their people and their customs. For example, the ancient Greeks had many myths about their gods and heroes. These myths were part of their religion and their everyday life. They influenced their art, literature, and even their laws. Section 6. Myths inspired by real events. Sometimes, myths are inspired by real events. These events might be natural disasters or historical conflicts. Over time, the stories became exaggerated and mixed with fiction. For example, the story of Atlantis is a myth about a lost civilization. Some people believe it was based on a real island that sank into the sea. While there's no evidence to prove this, the myth continues to fascinate us. Section 7. Ancient religions and their myths. In ancient times, religion and mythology were closely connected. People believed in many gods and goddesses. They told stories about their powers and adventures. These myths explained the natural world and the role of humans in it. They also served as moral guides, teaching people right from wrong. Ancient rituals and ceremonies were based on these beliefs. Section 8. How myths and legends change over time. Myths and legends were usually passed down orally. This means they were told from one person to another. As they were retold, the stories often changed. New details might be added, characters might be combined or forgotten. This is why there are often different versions of the same myth or legend. Section 9. The enduring power of myths and legends. Myths and legends continue to fascinate us today. They offer a glimpse into the past. They tell us about the beliefs and values of ancient cultures. Though they may not be entirely true, they contain valuable insights. They remind us of the power of storytelling and the human need to make sense of the world around us. Ancient myths, whispers from the past, still hold us in their thrall. These stories, born in the mists of time, speak of gods and monsters, heroes and villains, creation and destruction. They are echoes of humanity's earliest attempts to make sense of the world around them. Though centuries separate us from the campfires where these tales were first spun, their power remains undiminished. We find ourselves drawn to their magic, their wisdom, and their timeless ability to illuminate the human condition. The influence of ancient myths on modern storytelling is undeniable. From the pages of our books to the screens of our cinemas, these ancient narratives continue to inspire and intrigue us. Modern authors, filmmakers, and artists draw upon the rich wellspring of mythology, weaving ancient themes and archetypes into contemporary works. This blending of old and new creates a resonance that deepens our experience and enriches our understanding of both the past and the present. One of the most enduring contributions of ancient myths is the concept of the hero's journey. This archetypal narrative, found in cultures across the globe, follows a hero who embarks on a perilous quest, faces trials and tribulations, and ultimately returns transformed by their experiences. From Odysseus's epic voyage home to Harry Potter's battle against Voldemort, the hero's journey resonates with us because it reflects our own struggles and aspirations. Cinema, with its ability to transport us to fantastical realms, has proven to be a particularly fertile ground for mythological storytelling. Films like Clash of the Titans, Thor Ragnarok, and Wonder Woman draw heavily on Greek, Norse, and Roman mythology, respectively. These films, with their epic battles, larger-than-life characters, and stunning special effects, bring ancient myths to life for a modern audience, reminding us of the power and relevance of these enduring stories. Section 5. Mythological brushstrokes, painting with archetypes. The influence of ancient myths extends beyond literature and film, finding expression in the visual arts as well. Painters, sculptors, and other visual artists have long drawn inspiration from mythology, using its rich symbolism and archetypes to explore themes of love, loss, heroism, and the human condition. The enduring power of these archetypes is evident in their ability to transcend cultural boundaries, speaking to something primal and universal within us. Section 6. The Music of Myths, from Wagner to Zimmer. Music, with its ability to evoke powerful emotions and transport us to other realms, has also been deeply influenced by ancient myths. Composers like Richard Wagner, who drew heavily on Norse mythology for his operatic cycle The Ring of the Nibelung, and Hans Zimmer, whose scores for films like Gladiator and Pirates of the Caribbean are infused with a sense of epic grandeur and mythic resonance, demonstrate the enduring power of these ancient stories to inspire and move us. Section 7. Why Myths Matter, a mirror to ourselves. Why do these ancient myths continue to resonate with us today? Perhaps it is because they offer us a glimpse into the collective unconscious of humanity. Myths, with their timeless themes of love and loss, good and evil, order and chaos, reflect the fundamental truths of human existence. They provide us with a framework for understanding our place in the world, grappling with life's biggest questions, and finding meaning in the face of the unknown. Section 8. Timeless Tales, Universal Truths. The enduring power of ancient myths lies in their ability to transcend time and cultural boundaries. These stories, born in specific cultures and time periods, speak to universal truths about the human experience. They remind us that despite our differences, we are all connected by our shared humanity, our hopes, our fears, and our eternal search for meaning in a world that often seems chaotic and unpredictable. Section 9. The enduring power of ancient voices. In a world saturated with information and constantly evolving technology, it is remarkable that ancient myths continue to captivate and inspire us. These stories, passed down through generations, remind us of the power of storytelling, the importance of imagination, and the enduring strength of the human spirit. As long as we continue to listen to these ancient voices, we will find ourselves connected to the past, present, and future of humanity. Look up, see the stars? For millennia they inspired questions. Myths offered answers. Ancient tales spun across cultures explained the unknown. They gave meaning to the world. These stories, passed down through generations, weren't just entertainment. They were history, science, philosophy, all woven together. Myths reflect the hopes and fears of our ancestors. They reveal how they grappled with life's big questions: creation, death, morality, love. These stories offer a window into the past. They illuminate the minds of those who came before. The myths of ancient Egypt, Greece, Mesopotamia, and beyond all hold clues. Clues to understanding civilizations long gone. Their social structures, their beliefs, their relationship with the cosmos. These stories, though steeped in fantasy, offer a glimpse into human history. We must listen closely to these whispers from the past. They have much to teach us. Ancient cultures looked to the heavens for guidance. They saw patterns in the stars. Stories were born. Constellations became characters. The Milky Way, a celestial river. These narratives weren't just fanciful tales. They were early attempts to make sense of the universe. Take the Greek myth of Orion, the hunter. His story, played out in the stars, reflects ancient Greek values: courage, skill, the consequences of arrogance. These stories wove astronomical observations into narratives that resonated with their viewers. The Egyptians saw the Nile River reflected in the Milky Way. Their myths wove the rhythm of the river, the source of life, into their cosmic understanding. The flooding of the Nile, crucial for agriculture, was linked to the movements of the stars. These celestial tales, though different in detail, share a common thread. They demonstrate the human need to find meaning in the cosmos, to connect with something larger than ourselves. Myths weren't just passed down orally. They were etched into clay tablets, carved into temple walls. These ancient records offer tangible links to the past. The Epic of Gilgamesh, for example, a Mesopotamian tale, survives on cuneiform tablets. This epic poem explores themes of mortality, friendship, and the search for meaning. The myths of ancient Greece, often featuring gods and goddesses with human-like qualities, were recorded by poets like Homer and Hesiod. The Iliad and the Odyssey, epic poems attributed to Homer, explore themes of war, heroism, and the human condition. These written records allow us to study these stories in detail. We can analyze their structure, their themes, their evolution over time. They offer a glimpse into the literary and cultural sophistication of ancient civilizations. By studying these texts, we gain a deeper appreciation for the complexities of ancient thought. We see how these stories served as vehicles for exploring complex philosophical and moral questions. A common motif in mythology is the hero's journey. A hero embarks on a quest, faces trials and tribulations, and emerges transformed. This narrative structure, identified by mythologist Joseph Campbell, resonates across cultures and time periods. Think of Odysseus, the Greek hero who journeys home after the Trojan War, or Gilgamesh, who seeks immortality after the death of his friend. These stories, though from different cultures, share a common narrative arc. This archetype of the hero's journey isn't confined to ancient myths. It continues to shape storytelling today. From classic literature to modern cinema, the hero's journey endures. We see it in the stories of Luke Skywalker, Harry Potter, and countless others. This enduring appeal speaks to a fundamental aspect of the human experience. We are all on a journey of self-discovery. We face challenges, overcome obstacles, and emerge changed. Myths remind us of this shared journey. Section 5. Gods and Monsters Within. The gods and monsters of mythology often represent different aspects of the human psyche. They embody our virtues and vices, our hopes and fears. By understanding these archetypal figures, we gain insights into our own inner world. Consider the Greek god Zeus, the king of the gods, who represents power and authority, or Hera, his wife, who embodies marriage and family. These deities, though flawed, reflect aspects of the human experience. The monsters of mythology often represent the shadow self, the darker aspects of human nature. Medusa, with her petrifying gaze, speaks to the power of fear. The Minotaur, trapped in the labyrinth, represents the dangers of the unconscious mind. These figures, though fantastical, offer a framework for understanding the complexities of human nature. They remind us that we all contain within us the potential for both good and evil. Section 6. Morality Tales. Many myths serve as morality tales, offering guidance on how to live a virtuous life. They illustrate the consequences of both good and bad actions. These stories, though often presented in a fantastical context, convey timeless ethical principles. The Egyptian myth of Osiris, who is murdered by his jealous brother Set, highlights the themes of betrayal, justice, and resurrection. The story teaches the importance of honesty, loyalty, and the triumph of good over evil. The Greek myth of Pandora's box warns of the dangers of curiosity and the unforeseen consequences of our actions. Pandora, driven by curiosity, opens a box containing all of the evils of the world. These morality tales, though rooted in specific cultural contexts, offer universal lessons about human behavior. They remind us of the importance of making ethical choices and the potential consequences of our actions. Section 7. Mythic Footprints in Modern Culture. The influence of ancient myths extends far beyond the ancient world. Their footprints can be seen in art, literature, language, and popular culture today. These stories continue to inspire and resonate with us. The names of planets, for example, are derived from Roman mythology. Mars, the red planet, is named after the Roman god of war. Venus, the brightest planet, takes its name from the Roman goddess of love and beauty. Shakespeare drew heavily on mythology in his plays. From Romeo and Juliet, inspired by the Greek myth of Pyramus and Thisbe, to Hamlet, which echoes the themes of revenge found in many myths. These stories, though ancient, continue to shape our understanding of the world. They provide a shared cultural vocabulary, a framework for understanding human nature, and a source of timeless wisdom. Section 8. A Tapestry of Imagination. Myths, woven together, form a rich tapestry of human imagination. They reflect our shared humanity, our hopes, our fears, our search for meaning. By studying these stories, we gain a deeper appreciation for the power of storytelling. These tales, passed down through generations, connect us to our ancestors. They remind us that we are part of a larger human story, a story that spans cultures and time periods. The human imagination knows no bounds. It has the power to transport us to other worlds, to introduce us to gods and monsters, to teach us valuable lessons about ourselves and the world around us. Myths remind us of this boundless capacity for creativity and imagination. They inspire us to tap into our own creative potential, to tell our own stories, and to pass them on to future generations. Section 9. Our enduring need for story. In a world increasingly dominated by technology and information overload, we might be tempted to dismiss myths as mere fables, but to do so would be a mistake. These stories speak to something fundamental within us. We are storytelling creatures. We crave narratives that help us make sense of the world, that connect us to something larger than ourselves. Myths, though ancient, fulfill this need. They remind us of the power of imagination, the beauty of language, and the enduring human need for connection. They offer timeless wisdom, moral guidance, and a glimpse into the hearts and minds of those who came before. So the next time you look up at the stars, remember the stories. Remember the myths that have been passed down through generations. They have much to teach us about ourselves, about our world, and about the enduring power of human imagination.